Rob, like I said, big games coming up this week, and the biggest probably Philadelphia hosting the Dallas Cowboys. Now, this is a huge game for both teams, but I think, and tell me if you disagree, it's bigger for the Cowboys because the Cowboys have to prove that they can play with the big boys, all right? They've been beaten up on the likes of the Jets without Aaron Rodgers and the Giants and these weak sisters of the NFL. And they step up. You know, even Arizona, Rob, we can look past that. You know, we can that happens sometimes.
Well, but what they were embarrassed by the 49ers. I mean, that's the problem.
Well, that's the thing. The one time they stepped up in class, they got mashed. And it was, look, nobody would have held it against them for keeping it close, right? For losing a 7-point game or maybe even a 10-point game that was fairly close. But to get beat by 32, that's what has many people thinking, Dallas is good, but not quite elite. And I think Sunday, Rob, they get a good chance to prove it. And again, look, obviously they want to win. If you're a Dallas fan, you want to win. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. But, Rob, honestly, if they lose by 3, even if they lose by 7, if it's a good game, close game, in Philadelphia, to a lot of people, that will prove that they are an upper echelon team and that they're going to be a force to be reckoned with in the postseason.
Now, I think there comes a point, Chris, and this is where I'm going to disagree with you. Because you're right, the 49ers, if they lost by 7 or a late field goal or touchdown made it 10, you could live with that. But at some point, if you want to turn your season around, this is the Sunday. To go to this game is in Philadelphia. You want to get people to buy into what you're doing and have some confidence. Dak Prescott is the king of beating Philadelphia, right? I think his record is 7-1 in his career beating Philadelphia.
8-3. 8-3.
Okay, 8-3.
And he's won his last 3. Yep.
But he doesn't beat the good teams. Like when you look at his record against teams over 500, he struggles.
I think his record, honestly, Rob, I think it's improved in that regard.
Right,
I think
but it's still under 500.
Against 4-1, but many good quarterbacks are under 500. I think he was 4-1 last year. I'm not 100% sure,
but the only problem is for the Cowboys, where they're trying to go, he's going to have to win some of those games. That's what I mean, and I get it, that it's hard to beat the best, but you need to be somewhere around 500. You know what I mean? Like, that's the goal against the best of the best. But my point is, the Cowboys need to win a game that people don't expect them to win. They're the underdogs.
Right.
How about going into Philadelphia and winning a game? The Eagles are coming off a good win, right? And Dallas can say, we can play with the big boys. Dak did come out to play and perform. And the defense didn't get knocked around like a rag doll. You know, if they give up 40 here or something. This is a game you want to talk about. We talk about measuring sticks all the time.
Yep.
This is a measuring stick. And losing close wouldn't be the end of the world. I'll give you that. But this is one that could give you that turn to, hey, we can win the division. We can get a bye. We're good enough. We can finally make this run to the Super Bowl that some people, including yours truly, picked them to finally get there. So I think that's why this is an important game for the Cowboys.
Well, you brought up a good point about the standings. And, Rob, if they win, they're 6-2. Philadelphia's 7-2. So, essentially, I mean, they're a half game back just because they haven't played as many games. And they would have the tiebreaker over Philly. So they would be in command of the NFC East. And they'd have a great chance at becoming the 1 seed. San Francisco obviously has 3 losses now. You expect Detroit and Seattle to stumble at some point and lose a game or 2. So Dallas would really, Rob, control its own destiny. If they get the number 1 seed, they've won 11 straight games in Dallas, all right, at AT&T Stadium. So if they can get the number 1 seed in the NFC, that certainly enhances their chances of getting to the Super Bowl. So that is a good point there.
And you're right about Dak. I mean, he's still under 500, 23 and 26 now, Chris, because he was 4-1 a year ago. So that helped to turn the tide on where he was.
Right.
But he's only 17 and 26 against, against the spread against teams with the winning record. So in that case, he's still underperforming. But this will be interesting to see if he can play well. He doesn't have to be lights out, but play well, don't turn the ball over, and give them a chance to win a big game. Because I think it's a big game. You talked about the position or where they could be and being in the number 1 seed coming out of the NFC.
A lot of Cowboys fans are taking heart in the fact that Dak has been good against the Eagles, Rob. He's 3-0 over the last 2 seasons against the Eagles. In those 3 games, Rob, 11 touchdowns, just 1 interception, and he's averaged 293 yards a game. So that will get you excited. And like I said, he's 8-3 overall against the Eagles. And so he's had a lot of success against them. Here's the problem, though. Let's just talk about the last 3 wins. Because some of these wins, 3 of them are from 2017, 2 from 2018, 2 from 2019. Jalen Hurts wasn't even there.
That's a long time ago.
Right? It's a different
Let's be honest.
Yeah, so those are irrelevant at this point. But 2021, Rob, that game, Jalen Hurts was only making his 6th start. And you remember, that was the year they went 9-8. And everybody loved Jalen. And as you said many times, we had people on the radio from Philadelphia who were saying, we love him, his character, but we don't think he can throw. And he didn't throw it that well that season. He was just a leader, a great runner, and he made a few throws. And then, so that, you got to look at that out. Okay, they were 9-8. They were okay. The next year, Rob, or Dak's next victory was a game at the end of the season when Philadelphia actually rested 10 of its starters, including 6 on the defensive side of the ball. And then the last victory that Dak had against Philadelphia, Jalen Hurts didn't play. Gardner Minshew was the quarterback. And I get it. Dak didn't play against Hurts or Minshew, the quarterback. He goes against the defense. But Rob, who your quarterback is affects your defense. It affects the time of possession, how long the defense might be on the field, what your field position is, whether you're down, trailing, whether you're playing from behind, all of that. And so when you really dissect, Rob, these last 3 games where Dak Prescott has been 3-0 against Philadelphia, not many of them really, it's hard to take a lot from that when you really get into them and look at the specifics.
All of those are fair points, and they do matter, Chris. So for Dak, here's a primo opportunity with both teams fully loaded.
Yep.
Quarterbacks, no defenses being rested, right? For
and both know the importance of the game.
And for
Rob.
Philadelphia, this is a big
for
right? And for them to protect home field, Chris, right?
And here's the other thing, Rob, and not many people may know this. For Philadelphia, listen to their schedule. So they got the Cowboys this weekend, tough game. They got the Chiefs. They have a bye, and then they face the Chiefs. Then after that, the Bills. Then the 49ers. Then the Cowboys again. And then Seattle.
Wow.
So, I mean, that is a murderer's row that they have coming up. 5 tough games, not including the one on Sunday. So, Rob, 7-1, I mean, if they go, 6 games? I mean, if they go 3-3, now all of a sudden 7-1. I mean, 10-4 looks good.
Well, they got 4 losses though, right?
Right. And so, I mean, they need to win this game. It's in Philly, and that's the other thing, Rob. You don't want them coming to your house and beating you, because you might meet them in the playoffs in Philly, and you don't want them feeling confident in your own building and we beat them here earlier. We know we can do it. So this is a huge game. I think it's bigger for Dallas, Rob. I think that, Dallas, as we said, they need to prove that they can beat an elite team. Philadelphia, yes, it's big, but if they lose, nobody's writing them off. I mean, only if they, keep losing, as I mentioned, their schedule.
Well, but that's the whole thing, too, and you're right. Like this next stretch, so you don't want to lose a home game, in this situation when you know what's ahead of you.
Right.
Because it could be a bumpy road.
That is
God
a
forbid
lot
you go 2-4, Chris, not 3-3.
Right. Now you're fighting maybe for a playoff spot. I mean, the NFC is very forgiving, right? But still, this is a team that's Super Bowl or bust. And so they want to put themselves in good position in the postseason. And really, they want that home field advantage.